This is really just from lockdown and not being able to go out and get a haircut. Like, people think, oh my God, that must have taken so much, I don't know, patience and work to grow your hair this long. And I'm like, if you just neglect it, it does this on its own. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Today is episode 119. We will be talking about March finished objects. Welcome to my knitting channel. I don't think you can see. There's a truck in my neighbor's driveway right there. It was one guy and he went inside, and so I don't think it's the owner because they left the trash and the recycling bins out. So I think maybe it's like a contractor or something going to see what maybe needs to be done in the house. Dying to know what's happening. Like I desperately want neighbors that aren't going to ruin my backyard for me. Which is not something you would have to think about, right? When you have a big backyard, you're not like, you don't think, oh, I hope those neighbors don't have dogs that they let run around and rush my fence and have fights with each other outside. To me, that was not something I considered when we were looking at this house and decided to buy it. I thought, oh my God, look how beautiful the backyard is. And we share it with Chuck, my neighbor Chuck, that you all hear me talk lovingly about. Chuck's house we get the side view of his house because we're on the corner. So the rest of the houses are in the same line, side by side. So our backyard looks out to side of Chuck's house. And then the street. We got everybody's street, but then right across is their house, obviously. I did not think I would have a problem of their dogs running across the street to bark at my fence, which is really what started the whole problem. Because then my dogs reacted to that and it was a big deal. So I am so excited that obviously something's going on. Like there's some movement, something's in motion. Hopefully they'll fix it up and I'm still shocked that they didn't own the house. I thought they owned the house when they painted it. Because it used to be mint green, and I loved looking because, mint green's my favorite color to look at. So I was like, oh, mint green. And then they painted it gray, it was okay. It's a nice gray. It's a light gray. It's not bad gray. It's a gray. It's a true gray. It definitely looks better against the brick than the mint green did. But when they were painting it, I was like, oh, they must have bought it. Because I don't know why you'd be painting a house you don't. That's a lot of work to put into something you don't own. So I thought that was kind of weird. So anyway, I just assumed from that moment that they owned the house. I am not wearing any knits because it's cold. And the only shirts that are fitting me right now are just the cotton basic that I have on underneath. So if I'm wearing any knits, it's that cotton basic because it stretches over my bloated belly. I washed all of my cottons, which included the merino, baby alpaca cotton, and I only have one form to block them on so they can kind of hit my measurement, and I didn't block any of that on there. I didn't block the cotton basic either. I just kind of zhuzhed everything, and I zhuzhed everything and laid it out. Didn't pin it, or I just zhuzhed it and left it. Thought that would be enough. It was not enough on the stuff with merino. And I think it's just because, oh, he left. Didn't see him leave. Damn. it's non-superwash merino. So of course, which is my favorite. I love non-superwashables. It's gonna go spring right back, right? So I think those I'm gonna need. But I don't know how to wash them at a lot of a time because I have like a lot of colors. I'm thinking I have the purple and the tiger lily. Then I have the red and the green. Do I just have the 4? And the blue, and then I have 2 more that haven't been done. So I have 5, which means 10 because they also have the cropped versions. So if I wash all of them at the same time, I have 5 bags. I can fit 5 because I put the full size and the crop in one bag and wash it. That way the color, if I get any color transfer, that's not going to be touching another yarn. I haven't got any transfer yet. I do them on delicate, and then I bring them upstairs and throw them in my spin dryer because I have a spin dryer. And then I zhuzh them and lay them out. So I'm trying to find a way to block like 5 or 6 at a time. Because when I do the wool ones, they're going to have to, I'm obviously not going to be able to zhuzh them. I'm wondering if I just pin them out. I should just pin them out, like at the sides, pin out the sides. I don't know. Then I could probably have enough mats to pin them out, figure out how wide to pin them out. I don't know. Anyway, I woke up today intent on cutting my hair, so I'm like trying to decide if I'm going to wait for my husband to be done with work to cut. My husband cuts my hair. He has no training, but he cuts my hair. And, or if I'm going to go to like a Best Cuts and get it cut, you know. I'm trying to decide what, because when I get it in my head that I want to cut my hair, I want it done right now. Do you know what I mean? I want it done right now. Which is kind of sad. 'Cause I don't have any pictures of me with long hair like this. And this is the longest my hair has ever been. It is. I don't know what's past the tailbone. Because that was my last measurement, was the tailbone. It's now past that. So I don't know if that's the butt fold. I don't know what is the next increment. I can sit on my hair. I don't know what I'm doing to it yet, so stay tuned. I don't know. Now I want to know what's going on over the house. I want to like set up cameras so I can catch in the act what's happening over there. Normally I don't care. Like normally I don't care at all like what my neighbors are doing. I'm one of those people, if you're not hurting anybody, I don't give a crap what you do. But out here the people are awful. We've got people that let their dogs bark all night. It's so annoying. And there's one of our neighbors that is just burning stuff 24/7 and you can't go outside because it's just smoke right in your lungs. Like you can't see it, but it's there. And it bothers me. And you're not supposed to burn stuff where we live unless you're making food. Like you're allowed to have a grill and make food or like a fire pit and roast marshmallows. But you can't just burn stuff. You're not allowed to burn stuff. And I want to like call the cops on them every time, but I don't know exactly if it's who I think it is. But they are relatively new here too. Anyway, should we get into the show and what I'm doing? Let's start with whips. Okay, my first tip is my DK weight top. That probably would have been done if I hadn't taken so many naps this week. This is I already told you, from Knit Crate, you cannot get it anymore. Uru yarn, Cotton Basic. Colorway is Pavement. It is 100% organic Pima cotton. DK weight 266 yards. So these have quite a bit of yardage for the. So this already has the cropped version has already been made. I think I've worn it a couple times too. So this is the last of it. There's very little. Well, probably about 30 grams left. So I just go until I can bind off, which takes like 2 grams. 2 grams. 2 grams for bind off. So the I don't know how many I just go till I run out. Till I run out of yarn. Till I have 2 grams left, then I bind off. And then it's as long as it's gonna be. So this will be done next time. Will it be done by Saturday, which is the 1st? Yes, this will be done in 3 days for sure, because it's the one I'm working on the most. Whoa! I just zipped my hair up in there. My second whip is another sport weight double layer hat. This is in Willow, Verbena, Evergreens. And what surprised me is this is a blue. I thought it was a dark green. It is blue. That is almost a navy. That is coming in navy, blue, and then a teal at the end. It's like a rainbow of greens. I worked on this just to I worked on the top to get to where I'm just in the round, and then I worked this up to just where I'm in the round. Now these I don't have to weigh anymore because I know what I need for the bind off, and I think it was like 7 grams for the decreases, because there actually is no bind off. You just run them through you just run your working yarn through the stitches and pull them off. So I think we work this till 7 grams. So this I haven't even really been working on, because this was more of an April project. I just wanted to get it started. So if I needed something mindless, simple, and small, I would have it ready to take. But I'm focusing on getting a top done, so I will have another top to wear, and then I'm going to start another top immediately. So those are my 2 whips. Should we go to finished objects, or do you want to go to a squishy mail? This week's squishy mail was actually a pre-order that I ordered like a month ago. And it's a colorway that I have been looking at for like 3 years, I think. About 3 years. And I'm like, do I want, is that really necessary? Because, you know, a lot of times I look at yarn and I go, I could do that. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Usually I look at a yarn and I go, I could do that. That's not a big problem. But then there are times when I look at a yarn and I go, I could do that. But I don't want to because of the work that has to go into this. So I finally splurged because this was $32 plus shipping. So this is almost $40 for this skein of yarn. But it's so pretty. This is from Sock Obsession. This is Fairy Witchcraft. And if you, I assume that if you are interested in indie dyers, you have seen this before. The first thing I can say is it looks exactly like the pictures. Exactly like the pictures. See, right here is what I don't want to take the time to do, because this is a resist dye process that I just, no, thank you. And the rest of it is this pink purpley almost black in parts. I can't tell if that's black or if that's like just the purpley getting dark. I'm not sure. So these are resists, which are a pain in the ass, and I don't like to do them. So then on the resist, you have to paint the rainbow by hand. So there's hand painting, which I hate. There's hand painting, which I hate, and resist, which I also hate. The only time I like resist is when it's already the color and then I'm just resisting so I don't take over all of the color. Do you know what I mean? Probably not. Looks like some of this red didn't get color all the way through. Yeah, what I'm wondering is why this one looks different. They all look real good except for this one. Didn't do too good. Not sure what happened there. But all the rest are like this and then that. Not sure what happened. No idea. It looks like a red part did something. But the rest are okay. It's weird. Obviously not going to make that big of a difference in the final product. That is weird though. I would not have sent that one out. To me, that's a seconds batch. I would not have sent that out at full price. So not a good first impression for me. But it's for what I am using it for, it won't matter. But if I was counting on having the number of them, not having that there would be a problem for me. I am going to use this to make my Michelle shawl, which is top-down triangle, stockinette. It's really like the Raina that everybody does, but it's better. I hate the Raina. But it looks like this. It has, you've seen it a million times. It's got alternating stockinette and lace through it. And it makes a great summer shawl. It really, really does. And I thought with those, that rainbow that goes through, that would make really cool on the lace part. So that's what I bought last month, and it just got here. So, finished. We're only at 30 minutes, and I'm going to take out that whole chunk about me wanting a haircut, so. I don't even know what we're going to do for the rest of this. Since I already talked to you about, there is a new Mandalorian, so we could talk about that. So what we got done this month, what we finished, double layer Cotton Babmboo Hat. Remember, this is my husband's hat. 2.75 millimeter needles and 144 stitches. I do the same number as your sock head. If you've done a sock head and that fits you well, I did this the same number, so you would have the same, so I would have the same fit. And then it's just double layered, which I've told you how to do a million times. Start with the pinhole cast on. We also have two sport weight double layer hats that have been finished. Oh, that one looks a smidge, probably how I blocked it, because we know I'm ridiculous at blocking. Blah, 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 blah. Also, same way, pinhole cast on. Work till 7 grams. Do decreases. Cinch up the edge. So these are all, what do you call it? Reversible. I haven't cut the ends off yet. Yeah, these are going to be for charity. These are, what did I say, 3.5 millimeter needles and 120 stitches, and you just work until you have 7 grams left, and then decrease. Then we had our DK weight cowls that were from Knit Pick Swish that I did not like. Don't like working with the swish. This golden one that was a little large, I would consider this an adult large, was on, again, 3.5 millimeter needles. This had 108 stitches, and this one had 96 stitches. I was also thinking, what you could also do, because this one was wider, if you want that width, but you don't want this to be loose, you can do your ribbing. Hey, what are you eating? You can do the ribbing on a smaller needle. So you could just do a smaller, you could also do twisted rib if you wanted, I guess. I don't know, some people like twisted rib. I don't like my ribbing to cinch, to be honest. I like it to be like this. I don't like it to cinch in. I really don't. I know that's what you want for like sleeves, but I don't like it. I think maybe I just blocked them different. But see here, these don't. I like it to be this. I don't like it to cinch in. So if you wanted it to cinch in and you wanted it the bigger size, you could always do smaller needles for the ribbing. Just make sure you're still using the 25 grams, or whatever number of grams you want to use it. These both were dye projects July 2021. Don't know what episode number that is, but I believe they were in the same one because they were all done at the same time. No, this was Eleanor and this was Linda. Episode 32, July dye project. I think both of them were shown in I think I dyed them at the same time. So you have two sizes. You can do these on multiple weights. I don't have any of these planned for April because I'm doing other projects. So I'm going to finish the hats. And these I have so many DK single skeins. But I feel like every base is going to give me a different result. So I'm not sure if I want to stay with the 108 and go down a size or stick with the 96. Do you know what I mean? Because first of all, I want this to lie flat as possible. There we go. like this to be able to just come up on my face. And then this I don't care about as long as it's not choking me. And then if I want, tuck that in. That's my ends I haven't cut off yet. I don't cut off ends until I'm sure that it's done. And I'm not entirely sure that this is done. I'm just not sure if this... I think I just don't like the base. So I'm trying to think of like other bases I have that are like... like just one skeins that I can do this in, and they're all different. So like one I know is a Targi blend, and that I think is going to be very different with how it wants to go. I wonder if I should just get the fingering weights out of the way first. There is a sportish weight because it's got weird yardage. That is my favorite, my absolute favorite colorway of all time. That was done by Cornbread Honey. And she won't tell me what process she used to do it, because I don't even know what the process is. I'm not asking her about the colors. I just want to know what dye process was used, because I don't know how she got those results. And she doesn't want to tell me. So which is, it's irritating to me, because being someone in this art that wants to learn, but there's no places to learn. There's no places to learn that will show you what people are doing and how they're doing it. And I understand that you think, some makers think, oh, you're going to steal my idea. Because you know Hobby Lobby is ripping off, I can't think of the... Hobby Lobby is ripping off, I know they ripped off from the Lemonade Shop. They're ripping off Indie Dyer's hand paints, and is it B? Something B? I can't find the one that looks like the Lemonade Shops. But they, a lot of them I saw ripped off from yarn dyers that I knew. And when I saw the one from... from the Lemonade Shop, I immediately knew that was her yarn, because she was the first to like do that like rainbow thing. And not that everyone hasn't also done the rainbow thing, but I think she was the first to do it. And so that's ridiculous, first of all, for a giant corporation who, I mean, they steal everything anyway. So what's the they're hiding artifacts. So what a terrible company. For them to be ripping off and undercutting, ripping off ideas from indie dyers and undercutting their costs is like, just irritates me to no end. Like, just irritate. I have so much anger there, because these are struggling, mostly women, struggling small businesses, and it makes me so angry that you are this giant corporation and you're meddling everywhere. And I don't mean just in yarn. I mean in Priceless Artifacts. What a terrible, terrible company. So I obviously don't shop there. I don't shop there. You will never see any yarn from there from me. And we actually just got one in my city a couple years ago. I have not stepped foot in it. And it's right down the street from me. Like, I'm thinking they're going to make Joann's close down. I hope they don't. But they are in direct competition with our Joann fabrics. We also have Michael's. We also had a Packatan's, but as you know, Michael's acquired Packatan's and then shut all of them down, which was great because Packatan's is where I got on my googly eyes. But now Joann's carries them. Anyway, I don't like shopping big stores. I'd rather shop a local store, anything than a big store. But if I have to, I will, but not Hobby Lobby. What was I saying? I understand some dyers, shops not wanting to share what they're doing because they think someone is going to copy their idea, whatever. And I have a hard time with that because, number one, it's art. Before anything else, it's art. It is art. It's fiber art. And I don't think there's anything wrong with sharing the technique. I really do not think there's anything wrong with sharing the technique. Just don't show the colors you use and what concentrations, and they can't remake it exactly. They can't remake it exactly the way you do. I will show how I mix my colors. I will show you how I mix my colors so you can learn how to mix colors, and then you can start to mix colors if you want to too. And then I will show you how I place, where I place the dye on the yarn and why I do that. And that's because I love this art and I don't want it to die. And it's such a big, everything's such a big secret, and it irritates me. It irritates me so much. Like, there's another dyer I like that does these blackout things, and I really want to know how she does them. She doesn't tell. And it's like, if you gave 100 dyers the same colors and said, here, mate, you would get 100 different things. And I just feel like there isn't any harm in describing the technique, because then you're going to open up the yarn, open up the art, so that more people that learn this technique, we're going to get to the next technique. Like, everything's a stepping stone to get to what's next. So I feel like whenever somebody doesn't want to share how they did something, like, I don't care what colors you use, because I can guarantee you I'm not going to use the same colors you use. I'm going to use black. I'm going to use black. I don't want to, I'm sure some people do want to copy you. So just make sure that you're not giving away those parts. Like what colors you're using or what depth of shade you're using, because it's very hard to tell what people are like. The Shirsty Cat does those videos all the time. No one's recreated those yet because we don't know anything about what she's doing. We don't know how much yarn or how much dye she's using. We don't know what depth of shade she's using. There's a lot of unknowns in that you can, but you're seeing her technique, which she calls low immersion, but I don't know how she has all those different colors in at the same time and doesn't get brown. So she has to have really high heat and really high acid to do that. And I still don't know how I don't know who Shirsty Cat is. I don't know how they don't have brown skeins every time, unless I'm misreading the video I'm watching. I made my dye projects. I don't do dye projects anymore. I made them so you could make the exact same yarn as I did. I want like a practice, but use different colors if you want. Place them different if you want. Like, I'm just showing you what I do so you have a frame of reference. I'm not doing dye projects anymore because Chemnitz is out there. And if you want to learn how to dye yarn, watch Chemnitz. She has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos that you will learn. There's nothing I can show you that would give you more, other than if I learned a technique, I would show you. If I learned a new technique, I would show you. Like when I twisted my skeins, I showed you that I twisted my skeins, but I got that from Chemnitz. So I get irritated when people hold back the progression of the art by being secretive. And I don't think there's any need to be secretive, because it's really hard to have a business, and not all of us want a business. And I realize that it's scary if it is your business and your sole income, and you don't want people to copy you. But I gotta tell you, they're gonna try to if they want to copy you, they're gonna try to copy you anyway. And I mean, look at Hobby Lobby, ripped off so many indie dyers, and what can they do? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. You can tell your customers not to buy that yarn from Hobby Lobby. Don't buy it. I doubt it's cost effective for them anyway. But yeah, I am one of those people that I believe knowledge should be freely given. That includes techniques. I mean, I'm not talking about like recipes, secret recipes. I don't want the bush beans secret recipe. I mean, it's delicious, so maybe it would, but not looking for the formula for Coca-Cola. You know, the proprietary things, the dye colors you're using, the depths of shade. I don't think those should be so protected. I mean, those should be so protected. What shouldn't be protected is the technique you're using. Like if you're really good at glazing yarn, maybe you could even put like a class. You could make a pay-for class that you could do, like that you could record, and it's on your website, and you want access to this, you got to pay me $5 for the class. Then you don't even have to be there. They just watch it and you've gotten $5. So like that's the type of stuff I could, if you want to be paid, be paid. But I think the withholding of techniques only holds the entire art back. And just think, if all of us collectively are working from the same knowledge of technique, not of just of technique. I'm just talking techniques like low immersions, hand painting, glazing, the blackouts that I'm talking about, all these things that we don't have names for. If all of us had that base of knowledge, if we were all coming from that base of knowledge, think of how many steps forward we could each take on our own to come to the next technique that we could then share with everybody. So then everybody's base knowledge keeps growing and growing, and the art grows and grows. That's the art world I want to live in. That's the art world I want to live in. I know it's impossible being in a capitalist society. We can't. Obviously, oh my God, nobody can do anything for free. I do like everything for free. I hate money. I hate money. I can say that because I don't have my own money. My husband has money. We're okay. We have a house, no children. We're fine. We have some savings. I don't know where we are in the thing. You know what I mean? But we're okay, so I can afford to give away my stuff for free. If I'm a struggling mom of 5 kids and this is how I make my living, probably describing a technique is not something that's going to be a priority for me, and I understand that too. I'm just talking from an art perspective, how we grow this art. Imagine if you weren't held back by what you couldn't do. Even you, the single mom that this is your business, if you weren't held back by what you didn't know, how big could your business grow? How big could your business grow? What if you found an easier way to do it? What if you found something that made all the difference to your production? That's what if we keep going together, where would it lead the art? Where would the art end up? I was just in one of my groups, they were talking about gradients, fadiance, where you grade from a dark color, lighten up that color, then switch to a different color that's light, and then go to the dark of that color, and how to best do that. It's on a sock blank, by the way. If you don't know, that's the easiest way to do gradient, is a sock blank, but typically not the commercial ones, because they're too thick, you'll get resist, but looser ones. Typically you're going to need a machine if you're going to make your own. I think Witch Candy called hers Fadiance, which I really liked. A faded gradient. Really liked it. Very cool. I've talked about that before. Again, techniques that no one talks about, that no one's doing. So I just think of, and those self-stripers, God love you, because I'm not doing the self-striping yarn. No way. I'm just saying, if we shared the techniques, you don't have to share anything that's proprietary to you, but sharing the techniques, I think, would just bring us farther faster. And I wish we would do that. I really wish we would do that. I understand why we don't. Which is why I'm glad there's people like Chemnitz that does. And she doesn't even rip anybody off. She doesn't go like, oh, this yarn, and try to deconstruct what they did. She's just like, let's try this technique. And she'll tell you the depth of shade she's using. She'll tell you everything. I mean, she doesn't take her temperature of her water, which bothers me. Because I got my thermometers in my water, I'm ready. I know exactly what time it is. But I realize not everyone dyes the way I do. I wish we would share techniques more. And even if you want to get paid, go ahead. Put a video up how you do that, explain it, and get paid for it. I had no problem with you getting paid for it. I wish we would share more. If I knew the techniques, I would put them out there. I certainly would. But no one will tell me. There's only one dyer that tells me what she does. And she even tells me what stuff she uses. But I don't use prepared premixed dyes. I use the CMYK and make my own. So she's telling me she doesn't go by weight. She has like spoons that say like dash and pinch, and that's what and I'm like, oh my God. Exact opposite. I am like so exact to the thing. And she's telling me, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, how do you make such a beautiful yarn like that? How do you recreate it? It makes no sense to me. And her yarns are beautiful. But she's really been the only person that has been open and didn't make it a secret what she was doing. She was like, yeah, let's share the art. Maybe it was me. I don't know. Maybe she does that to everybody. I don't know. But that was how I learned where to buy bear yarn. That's why I have links down below, where to buy bear yarn, where to buy dye, and stuff like that, which scales I use and stuff like that. Well, I did not expect to go down a rabbit hole of dyeing yarn, but here we are. So, yay, I guess. Still nothing. Can you see Bree right here? Sleeping. Look at her tootsies. This is so hard because she's so far away. I like her tootsies. She's sleeping. Okay, so do we even know what next week is? Oh, tootsies. Big stretch. Next week, I want to get my hair cut so bad. Where am I? March finished object. Oh, we have a free one. So who knows what that'll be about? Who knows? Maybe we'll have something happening here. All right, guys, I'm out. What do you think of that Sock Obsession Fairy Witchcraft for the Michelle? I think it's gonna look amazing. That is definitely going to get done very soon. That is going to get done very soon. In the next, I'm thinking May, because May is my birthday month. I also wanted to finish the shawl that was Laughing Cat Fibers, Eucalyptus and Pine, that I still haven't. You know why I haven't done anything with this? Because I can't decide. Do I want the heavier at the top or at the bottom with the lace? I think it's this. I think I want it this way. This can be in the lace darker. Yeah. But see, now I have to be careful of how many fingering weight, because you know I love fingering weight. I love fingering weight yarns. I have to make sure I don't do too many a month, because that's so much yardage. Like next month for April, we're doing that sleeves, the shrug, that's fingering weight, 2 fingering weight. So everything else I'm working on, nothing's going to get done unless it's in a higher, thicker yarn. So tops, a worsted weight top and a sport weight hat. That might be all we get done that month, because it's 2 skeins of fingering weight. And I have really long arms. I do. I'm gangly, I believe the term is. I have abnormally long arms and legs. I think my torso is pretty long too, though. Anyway, I don't know. I'm so excited to get my hair cut. I hope I am digging this. I mean, I'm not gonna cut out the blonde. Obviously, the blonde can stay till it gets cut out, but I'm not sure how much I'll be cutting off. I wanted to, my gut is saying do an angled bob, you know, where it's short, it goes right to your back, it just follows your skin here, wherever your back of your neck, and then down to your chest. I'm thinking about that, but I think that's too short for me to go right now, so I'm thinking I might just mermaid length, maybe mermaid length right below the boobage, which is going to give me, oh my god, I don't even know how many inches that, however much this is, but that's probably what I'm going to start, is the under boob. So it's going to get a lot of this damage out of here. I'd like eventually for my hair to just be natural, is what I'm hoping. I love these. They're like, we're old and we're here. Whatever. Okay. I feel like I had something to tell you. Oh, I know what I forgot to tell you. First of all, do you watch Piece for Piece Crafting? Okay. Did you know Michael's doing a test knit for a dog sweater? It's Stephen West dog sweater. I didn't even know. And I'm on his email list, and I didn't even know is this like an inside? I'm not even on the inside for a dog sweater. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I make her freaking dog sweaters. So, besides the test knit, he has a book coming out. I think it's an ebook of dog sweaters. So, get on the list immediately. I don't know when it's coming out. But I'm like mad that I didn't get into the test knit. I didn't even know about the test knit. And I'm like, what? I am like famous in my own mind. And I think everyone knows that I have a little dog that I make sweaters for, even though nobody knows. So, yes, I'm waiting for that. And Lola will get sweaters made. And maybe the cats too. Maybe. And like I said, I am planning on adopting another Chihuahua when it presents itself to us, which won't be hard because I work with a dog rescue. And I haven't had any dogs because of my surgery coming up because I wasn't allowed to lift anything. And I don't want to be chasing around a dog. My health's not good enough yet. So I'm hoping by May I'll be okay and we can start fostering Chihuahuas again. And the rescue knows I want a young boy Chihuahua, so they'll keep a lookout for me. And she knows what I like. Because she sent me some, and the one had he not died of cancer, he would have stayed here. I would have foster filled with that dog for sure. I called him Buddy, but his name is Bentley. And I think about him a lot because I feel like he would have been ours. He would have been ours for sure. But anyway, I'm still missing Ducker like crazy. Well, yesterday I slept during the day, but then I was up till 6 a.m. I could not sleep this morning. Grief just round and round. And, I just feel like it's time to cut my hair. I think it's been long enough and I want to cut my hair. I was planning on growing it down to the floor, but I'm only at like the butt, not the crack, but the cheek indent. So I don't know what that's way past hip. It's way past hip. But now I feel like that doesn't go with what I'm trying to do. And like I said, I have sensory issues with my hair being wet. I'd really like it to be a little bit shorter so I don't have to worry about that. The other thing I'm worried about is how it's going to look air drying, because I just like to air dry my hair and not worry about it. And I think at this length, it gets so straight just because there's nothing to mess with it. Like, it's just like, okay, we'll just go straight. Look almost normal. Do you think that's enough gray? I can't tell if it's enough gray to let it just go gray. I mean, obviously not yet, but is it enough salt and pepper? I don't know. I just know I want to stop coloring my hair and I want it to be gray. I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens when I cut it. And if I like it, and if I like the color, I'll leave it. And if I don't, we'll just keep doing this strip of highlights to hide them a little bit. I'm getting itchy now that I started scratching myself. I shouldn't have done that. Okay, so, don't know what next week will be. It's a surprise. And I'll have new hair. Anyway, is that all I had? Stephen West book? Okay. Well, now I don't have time to talk about The Mandalorian. So, I was telling you with Bo, though, right? I was right. See what she's doing? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm getting out of here because it's 2 o'clock. And I gotta decide if I'm gonna go get my hair cut somewhere, if I'm gonna make my husband do it, and I don't know. Maybe I need a nap. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm leaving. I will see you next week. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye.